Hello, Lockdown Diaries Day 40. Hope everyone's doing okay. Seems to be a little bit better weather here in the UK, so fingers crossed we're going to get some spring, and fingers crossed for Monday when we're going to get some plans for how we're going to get out of lockdown. Obviously, it's certainly been relevant to me, the lockdowns. I'm self-employed, running a motorcycle tour company, so obviously it's had a big impact. And I guess the topic of this discussion today is just how you have to be flexible and overcome and adapt, I think. And that's certainly two of the biggest assets that enabled me to get from Sydney to London, just to be able to adapt and overcome. Because obviously you can't plan and mitigate against every problem that's going to go your way. You know, that's when it comes to planning and research, you can't possibly plan for the things that are going to go wrong, because the things that are going to go wrong are completely unpredictable and take you completely by surprise. And so just being flexible and being, determined and to persevere are the main characteristics of an adventure. And I guess for me, this COVID thing feels like another adventure. I guess, you know, certainly from a business point of view, and it's just it's about looking what you can do and you can't do. Last year I was supposed to be taking a group across America and other overseas trips. I got Garbage Run Japan planned, I got Garbage Run Iceland planned, I got Garbage Run 2 Islands planned. All that got cancelled. And so, you know, the world changes, and the world changes without any great ability to forecast what's coming next. And so my field of scope has gradually been diminishing, and thinking, okay, domestic trips, and then even domestic trips seem problematic. So that's what's brought me even closer to think, well, what can I do in North Devon to keep the adventure alive, really? Because that's life, isn't it, really? Keeping the adventure alive and trying to find the end. You know, at what point that end comes, who knows? But you know, the moment you stop and give in, whether you're on a bike trip or I guess in life, is the point at which you've got nowhere left to go. And so today, the computer. Today I just wanted to show you around my new website, which I guess is a bit of a commercial break, but it's been very much occupying the last month or so of my life, trying to figure out how we take this emergent situation and keep a business going. And so I really have focused on Dorothy's Speed Shop. Dorothy's Speed Shop was initially a temporary unit down here in Braunton, and then in September last year moved to an old abattoir, which had then been used for a VW camper restoration. And then I took on the lease with the hope of turning it into a bit of a touring shop, a base for the postie bikes, a base for the A2 adventure bikes, and also, I guess, the home of the garbage run. So it's given me a fixed location, and the next step was to build a website. I'm not a web designer. I'm not really that good at that side of things, but I guess you learn and adapt. And in this case, it's learning and adapting to create a website which hopefully reflects what I'm offering down here in North Devon. And hopefully, once restrictions ease and the virus simmers and goes away, then people will be able to visit. So I just wanted to do a quick video just telling you about the website, the business, or not really the business. I don't want to call it a business. It's not a business. It's my life. My life is bikes and motorcycling and touring. That is my life. So I don't see it as a business. So I want to show you my life, a portal of my life, show you what I'm up to, show you what my plans are, and just see what you think, really. So I thank you for listening to the video diaries so far. Some have been useful, some have been rambling, and some have been short and sweet. Thanks for the positive comments. I really appreciate those. It's nice to hear that people have been watching them and at least getting something out of them. So I'll just turn the camera around and show you the website. Okay, so here we go. Dorothy's Speed Shop, www.dorothyspeedshop.com. I went for a little funky video of riding down some lanes nearby. Just got a pop-up COVID stuff, basically saying that the trips and the weekends are in place, but let's see what happens with COVID. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. So click off that. Then you got the Dorothy Speed Shop graphic, and this is just a lane out by me. I'm going to change that for a video of the coastal routes near me. I thought it might be a bit more interesting. But yeah, I just liked a bit of movement. I just use Wix, which is an online online website builder for numpties like me who can't get the hang of WordPress, even though WordPress is good, but I just can't get used to it. I've used Wix for a while. And it's one of those websites where you just pay. It's pretty much free if you don't want to sell anything on it, and then you just pay a monthly fee to offer something. And then we scroll down. The start of a new adventure: adventure, bikes, tours, tea, coffee, advice. And I think that about sums it up. I'm not a cafe. I'm not a bike shop. I'm a place where bike tours and I guess the joy of motorcycle travel takes place. That's what I'd hope for anyway. I've got the main foyer bit in the middle at the front where the bikes are, and then at the back I've got a great area, a lounge area, and that's where we're going to all sit down and talk about trips and maps and drink tea and drink coffee and just chill out. So it's got a nice chill out zone, and then the main bit where the bikes are. Just a little bit about, me and Dorothy, born out of 10 years of travel. The Speed Shop is home of not only to the Postie Bikes, the Best of 4 adventures, also the Garbage Run, but it also serves as a base for anybody who wants to just drop in and say hi. So that's me and Dorothy up at the top of Applecross, and we want to say welcome to our home. What's going on at Dorothy's? Well, this is just a breakdown. We've got the Postie Bike Adventures, the A2 Adventure Test, which is where you get to ride the 4 bikes back to back in a day, Garbage Run Adventure Tours, which are where you go off on your own bike, and I take people around. Well, previously I've taken people Land's End, Johnny Groats, Ireland, Scotland, across America, across Australia, back from Bulgaria, and as I said in the original bit, across. The idea next year was Japan, Iceland, etc. But the changing world has focused me closer to home. Also got the option to ride the Italian Stallion, i.e. the Moto Guzzi V8 5TT, which is my own bike, which I've added to the insurance fleet that I have, which allows anyone with my permission to ride those bikes. I do have to guide people, so none of these bikes are available for rental. They have to be, you have to be guided by me. And then a section, bespoke tours and packages, where essentially, you tell me when you want to come down, what you want to do, who with, and, I'll work out a date. The centre piece of it all, obviously, is North Devon. Now, North Devon was a place I visited maybe 4 years ago with my wife, just on a holiday. We came to do some camping and fell in love with it, really. We just love the coast. We love Exmoor. We love the little coves and the little villages. It's not overly populated. There's a lot of green space and good beaches, and it's certainly a great place to raise a family. And where we are is within 2 miles of Croyd and Saunton, which are 2 amazing surf beaches, and really nice places to be. So almost as much as anything, I just love people to come down and see North Devon, because it's a place on the map which people don't necessarily see as a destination. But to me, certainly if you head, say, from Minehead, Bridgewater, Minehead, come down the A39, which is along the coast, you do Porlock Hill, you've got Linton, Lynmouth, just a fantastic road, and then you come in and you can do Hunters Inn and all that, those little back roads around there, which, to be honest, is where I take people on the tours, on the day ride. So, if you don't want my services, then just jump on the A39 and head west, and you'll still have a great time. Also got some great green lanes in my area as well, which was a surprise, and just enough to sort of satisfy the postie rides, and also enough to take people on the A2 bikes on a bit of dirt road that gives them a taste of how the bikes handle. Other things I want to add as I go along: a bookshop, so that's where I've obviously got my own books, but also books by other authors, and maybe I'm going to have a guest book of the week or something like that. Travel essentials, where I just bring in and sell the basic products which I think are useful, whether it's tyre repair or puncture repair, tyre levers, just those essential items that I personally wouldn't leave home without. I've got Dorothy's Clothing Emporium, which is just a chance to offer some t-shirts and a mug and a buff and a hoodie and things. Dorothy's Tyre Shop. Now, the idea of some of these things is to centre it around the A2 adventure bikes that I've got, the KTM 390, the Himalayan, the CRF, and the BMW 310 GS. So I kind of want to be a destination or a place to head for people looking for advice or things to consider kitting those bikes out with. And I'm not a sucker for needless bolt-on essentials. So I'd be looking to offer things that I think enhance the bike. So with the KTM, it would be offering some crash bars and some foot pegs which level off those annoying canted pegs that you get as standard. So I'm talking to SW Motec and Barkbuster. Kenda Tyres is somebody who I'm going to stock. So it's kind of born out of the last few weeks, the last month or so, the realisation that what I've got to do to earn my keep is focus on things closer to home and on the things that I think people are going to need for the type of bikes that I'm carrying, really. So become essentially a specialist in A2 adventure bikes. Because ultimately that's my passion as well. I really love that category of bikes, and that's where I aim to focus. So Dorothy's pannier shop. I've got some Boomot panniers coming, which fit the bigger bikes. But then I'll be looking at some sort of lighter, cheaper, easier to fit panniers for the Himalayan and things like that. Same with the camping store. I really want to offer basic camping stuff, which is ideal for people on a budget who just want. They just want a tent. It doesn't matter how great it is or what name's on it. They just want a decent tent that's going to take them on a bike trip, a sleeping bag and things like that. So the idea is to build a basic shop element which offers the things that I think are essential to travel, and also the items that I feel I could stand behind and say, this is good stuff. I'd buy it with my own money, or I have bought it with my own money, and therefore I'm happy to recommend it. I don't want to have a shop full of stuff that nobody wants or I don't want to sell. It's just looking at those essential items. And then the events calendar, which is going to host all the events. So if you skip, you should be able to skip through. So as you can see, I've started putting things in April, and then in May we get a bit busier. I've got the days booked in for the A2 Adventures and also the postie bikes. I've preempted what I hope is going to be the unravelling of restrictions, and I've booked quite a few nights. Booked out the local B&B, which I use, which is a great family-owned place just down the road from me, and they've set aside some dates, so I've got them in the calendar so people can come down. They get 2 nights B&B, 1 day on the bikes, the posties or the A2s, depending on which date. And then, they enjoy North Devon at their leisure. And I think after the winter that we've all had and the year we've all had, I think 2 days away by the seaside is probably just what we need. And I think is going to be manageable, at least for the first half of this year. And then let's look again August onwards, really. And then just some photos from, the recent escapades with the posties and the AT bikes before the restrictions came in, just to show you the people, the type of scenery we've got down here. Coastal roads, little harbour bays, little cafes. That photo there is taken with about 200 metres of my unit. And it's what I love about the speed shop is that you turn right out the door and you're straight onto this wonderful, windy, meadowy lane that takes you out to the sea. And so you've got no urban area to ride on the bikes before you get out there. Then you've got one of the last remaining coastal green lanes in Britain, which runs near us. So on the postie bikes, I take people down that, and it's such a beautiful scenery along there, especially when the weather's good and you can see Wales off in the distance. Then you've got Lee Bay and just loads of lanes. Again, just love it around here. Who's Dorothy? Well, Dorothy is the Honda CT110 that I rode back from Australia on. A little video of that escapade there, and then just some of my favourite photos. Bali, Australian outback, India, Taj Mahal, top of the Himalayas, New York, then Detroit, Monument Valley, Colorado, and then last but not least, Dorothy's wardrobe. I've had some buffs made up and a hoodie, and I've got getting some more t-shirts printed, and then just the red one. I've got a few other bits. What else is in there? Yes, the mugs are in there, and I guess that just orders for that sort of thing helps tickle the bills over while we're in the dead zone of lockdown. So it's one of those. There's been government grants. I feel very sorry for those people who've not been able to claim anything. In a way, me taking on this unit
in September was the best thing I ever did, because people with rateable premises get help, whereas those without don't get very much anything. So it's really been luck of the draw as to who's been aided and who's not on this lockdown. And for self-employed small business owners, I guess it's that fine balance of between keeping everyone safe and keeping everyone alive and able to trade and in business so you can pay your bills. It's such a fine line. But that's it. I just want to show the experiences. So we click on best of 4, for example. This is the A2 test. It just shows you when it clicks, a bit of slow down here. A2 adventure riding days, a bit about the bikes, a bit about the day, and then as I say, you'll get to spend time on the Himalayan, the mighty Himalayan, the ferocious 390, the trail-friendly CRF Rally, and the 310 GS, which is that bit of all-rounder. Price, dates are there. A bit more about the B&B 2-nighters. And you can even, I'm kind of allowing a toe in the water that people can come down and do an hour or 2 hours test ride on each bike for a starting fee of 60 quid. The annoying thing with it all was I paid my fleet insurance on all these bikes at the end of December and then went straight into lockdown. So I had a huge amount of outlay on insurance that I've, at the minute, not been able to make use of. But it is what it is. We're all dealing with it. We're all dealing with the adventure that is 2020. So therefore, you can just skip through that, book in as you want. And it's pretty, for a non-web designer, I think I've done all right. So if I can help anyone else equally, I've set this business up, I've gone through the process, whether it be insurance or websites or, whatever. If anybody's got any burning ambitions to build a business out of their passion or their life, then just drop me a line. I'm always happy to help. We've all got to make our way in this world, and we've got to help where we can. And that's it. This bit is going to be my favourite bit when I've finished it. Why North Devon? Coming soon, information on accommodation, good roads and points of interest. So what I aim to do there is have a real glossary of good campsites, good B&Bs in the area, local bike shops, good routes, good points of interest, good places to eat, things like that. So for anybody who's just wanted to come down to North Devon, maybe just wants to see me for a cup of tea but do their own thing, then it's all there. It's all there for people to find and do their own thing. So yeah, I'm quite pleased, quite proud, quite relieved that I finally got the website up and running. It feels like finally everything's in one place. I finally found my home for it all, because I've had a real jumble. I've had garbage runs and postie bike runs and books and tours and t-shirts, and it's all been in different places. And so by taking on a physical shop and then creating a digital location of it, I finally feel that all my eggs are in one basket. And I think clarity and clear focus and vision are real centre points of an adventure. And so I feel this year is going to be an adventure. There's going to be some rocky elements to it. There's going to be some rough roads ahead for all of us. But there's going to be hopefully plenty of good times as well. Whatever you end up doing, wherever you end up riding to, whatever you end up seeing, we've got to get out there. We've got to keep breathing and riding and pushing, and not letting, the shit get in the way of trying to make a good story for ourselves. So I hope to see you down here. I thank you for tuning into the videos. I know I'm not a professional. I get the occasional comment telling me I'm not a professional in my videos. So, I could do better, but I'm doing my best. That's all we can do. All we can do is do our best. So I hope to see you in North Devon. And yeah, peace and good fortune to all. Cheers.